who follows award-winning actress Jennifer Garner on Instagram knows she has a curiosity about food, even when it's not so pretty. Well, today she is here opening up about embracing change and a food truth that's transformed her life with a new passion project. Please welcome Jennifer Garner. So, thank you for coming.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Thrilled to be here. Thank you.
You look like a farmer. Look at you.
I am a farmer.
You stay buff lifting hoes and baking?
Yes. No, but you know what? Farming's really, or gardening or anything, it's really hard work. My mom always had a garden growing up, and she always said that that's what she did to stay active.
Does she have big guns?
Of course. Yeah.
So I follow your Instagram. The passion you have for food.
That's
I really
so
do.
funny.
And she has this.
Instagram is so weird. It's so crazy.
But
anyway.
the best part is you have a pretend cooking show.
Yes.
Which it captivates all of us. The entire family is into it. So what got you so passionate about food?
Well, I grew up in a house where my mom made everything that we ate, even if we were just like, please, can I have a store-bought cookie? Mom would say, oh no, those are too expensive. So she made everything, and you just grow up kind of, you can't help but do what your mom did.
So I understand there have been several inspirations in your life besides your mom, including Martha Stewart. I don't know if is it true you named your dog after Martha Stewart?
I did. I had, oh my gosh, that's my dog, Martha Stewart.
Oh, the full name. It wasn't Martha, it was Martha Stewart.
Well, I mean, it depended. If she was being good, maybe she was Martha, but she knew that if I called her Martha Stewart, she better get off the couch. But yes, she was the world's absolute best, gorgeous dog. And Martha Stewart, the actual human, loved that there were dogs in the world named after her. And so she was always very sweet and very welcoming to Martha Stewart, the dog.
What was it about Martha Stewart, the person, that made you name your dog Martha Stewart? What did you admire about her?
You know, when I was a young actress starting out and I would have auditions in the morning, I would come back and make myself lunch and watch her first cooking show, back before she had a talk show or anything like that, and it was just in the kitchen with Martha. And I was dying to be on that show with her, even though I was nobody that would be on there. But once Alias started, I kept saying, oh, I'm hoping to be on Martha Stewart's cooking show, and she never invited me. Oh. Then I named my dog after her, and I said, I have a dog named after her, I want to cook with her, and she invited me onto her show. It worked.
Was it exciting?
Mm-hmm. It was so exciting.
So, Martha tends to be a perfectionist, but not everything that you do looks like what Martha would have made.
Definitely
in fact, you've had some funny food fails. This is one, actually, if I could. Now, what happened here?
You know, I was making homemade bagels, and they were such a huge hit the first time I made them that I doubled the recipe the next time, and I overproofed them, and they just were like little soggy discs.
So what do your kids say about this? In fact, more than that, I got a little tip-off. I have a note from one of your children. This is from your daughters. If you don't mind, read this. That's the exact text. I think I wrote it right.
Yes, this is a note from my daughter. This is true. She's 10 and she's a stinker. When I grow up, I want to be a fun-killing mom just like you.
Doesn't every daughter want to write that?
Yeah, I'm a fun killer. That's your mom. That's the job of being a mom. You kill the fun. You say, actually, no, bedtime is going to happen, and actually, no, we are going to eat something green today. And
so, what are the challenges to raising daughters as they enter the teen years?
Yeah, I mean, what are not the challenges? You just want them to feel good about themselves, to feel confident enough to reach for things, but not feel the exterior pressure of having to do more than is comfortable and fun.
So how do you message that to them? And what kind of tactics do you use to get them to realize they're as beautiful, as great as they really are?
Well, I think that one thing is you don't talk about looks all the time. They do not see me. The second I walk in the house, if I've been working, if I walked in today and if I were in LA and I walked in with this beautiful makeup by Genevieve Her and this gorgeous hair by Ben Skirvin that I just have had done for this lovely show, my kids would look at me and say, wash your face. And because that is mom to them.
Yeah.
And that is, I want them to know me that way, and also I'm too lazy and I don't know how to do this myself anyway. But that is probably the first and foremost thing. It is not about, you know, there's a place for beauty, but it is not an everyday thing.
You grew up in a very different world than the one you're living in now.
Definitely.
And actually as a farmer, right? And it probably shaped you in ways and taught you a lot about simple things, like where the food that we're actually putting in our body comes from. How's that changed you?
I grew up in West Virginia. I grew up in a middle-class household, and it was so much about community and about, if my mom wasn't home when I got home from school, I went to Marge down the street and she had a key and she'd feed me a snack and I'd find my sisters, and it was just very simple.
It's the single most important thing that allowed humans to thrive for so many centuries. We had each other.
Community.
Right? Our brains didn't get big to go hunting. They got big to look at each other and care about each other.
And do you know what's funny is that there's community in different ways in different places, and we have to find how to get to the community in places like Instagram or social media and find where we actually are connecting instead of just making people feel bad for being so fabulous, and showing them only what's fabulous. And that has been, that's just been something that I'm enjoying, which I wasn't anticipating, but I'm enjoying the connection with people out in the world and feeling like, oh, I'm curating my own little community of like-minded people who just want to kind of have a laugh at themselves.
You are. Yeah. You're an avenger, an emotional avenger, a connection avenger.
Yes.
So one of the ways we've always connected is through food.
Yes.
And you've become very passionate about food, not just for adults, but about kids. And I'm just curious how you got into that, because you could go in any direction you wanted, but you've chose something very precise.
Well, I started a company. It's called Once Upon a Farm. I'm one of the founders of it. There are 4 of us. And thanks. And the fun thing about Once Upon a Farm is that it's a company that I would have used. It has a product I would have used. I made my kids baby food, and I washed all those, things to puree with, and I did this and I did that. And I think that it's still great to make your kids food. There's nothing like it, but it's a hassle. Yeah. And a lot of women find that when they go back to work, when they have another child, whatever happens, they're just overwhelmed. I would have bought this. So it made me feel good starting it. But because it is all organic, it is all natural, there is no sugar added, it's farm fresh, just cold pressed, so it doesn't lose its nutrients, it's all good. It felt like, gosh, this is kind of a premium product. How do we make it so that everyone can afford this food? It's so important to all the founders and to everyone at the company. It's very mission driven. And so we're working really hard, and we're so far available in WIC in Connecticut, in my home state of West Virginia, and in Florida. And so that's about 135,000 kids who will have access to fresh, refrigerated, clean baby food instead of
what they have. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
So now that you've weaponized baby food in your pretend cooking show, which is becoming incredibly popular, you actually are making smoothies with your baby food.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Why would you do that? Where did the idea come from?
For fun. I mean, first of all, we do sell smoothies as part of our line, and those are great for older toddlers or for kids. I put them in my kids' lunchbox. My daughter's 13.
Husbands.
They're just tasty. They're dairy-free. They're delicious. So we have those, but sometimes it's just fun to make something with your child at home.
Come over here.
Yeah, come on.
Teach me how you teach one of your kids.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
That's
good.
about as eligible as I am to do stuff.
Do you have clean hands?
My hands are clean. I washed them before the show, sanitized them. Then I shook a lot of hands, by the way.
Okay, all right, good.
All right, so give us the raw ingredients.
Okay, so the first things first, this is Mama Bear Blueberry. The only ingredients, there are no fillers or anything, sugar, nothing. Apple, sweet potato, blueberry, coconut oil. Give that a squeeze.
Well, how do you open it?
You can
Oh,
taste it.
there we are. Good.
If you can't open it, Dr. Oz, I'm going to question your Harvard degrees.
I'm good at opening chests, not bags.
Right?
Oh, it's real.
Yes, dude.
It tastes real.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, okay. Some frozen bananas.
Some bananas.
Yeah, some yogurt. I don't know,
What?
quarter cup?
I love yogurt.
Yes, me too.
Then a little bit of soy.
Just a bit. Boop, that's
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Let's do some ice. I'm just gonna do this.
Now, where's the flaxseed?
Oh yeah.
Is it?
I also like to add there isn't any out here, but a little flax or a little chia.
Can someone just give me some flaxseed real quick? Someone give me some flaxseed.
Can someone get us flaxseed stat?
Oh, there she is. Oh, there she is.
Look what I found.
Look at here.
There, flaxseed.
So, wait. She brought the flaxseed.
Oh my gosh, you really did. Hi, Martha Stewart.
Hi, how are you? Very interesting conversation.
So how does Martha Stewart, the person, compare to Martha Stewart, the dogs?
She's even better behaved.
Well, it's so much fun.
You remember Martha Stewart the dog, don't you?
Of course.
Of course.
Of
Yeah.
course. It was the first
And how I
dog
talked
that I
my
knew.
way on.
Yes, you did.
Yes, to your show.
Everything you said is absolutely accurate. Even you remember things that I don't remember.
Well, and she taught me how to make a Thanksgiving. We did Thanksgiving together, and it has been the Thanksgiving that I've made for my family every year.
How nice.
And it's been 20 years.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.